I'm betting Adora's gonna have an easy time with this challenge. The challenge, where we super buff her in the DLC and see if she can beat all 4 stages largely on her own with the following 2 permanent artifacts. To say for the 10th time, because this is a 10th hero I've done probably, 1 Monkey Army for heroes counting as all categories, and Bafu Commission so that they gain XP every time they pop balloons. We have 3 choices for Adora's skins, and her base skin is probably the best one because it provides an Alchemist already in the party that can be used for an Alp buff, as well as Divine Intervention. It's not really reliable, but it is slightly more damage overall if we end up, getting a smite. Let's not waste any time and jump right into things. Starting off, we've got ourselves Bloon Arius. Starting Campfire is worth recruiting if we find a support tower, but none of these support too well, so we're just going to enhance our existing artifacts so that the smite is slightly more common. Here's 10 seconds of the very first encounter of the game, just so you know where Adora's power level sits at. Already pretty high starting off, eh? The only thing we gotta worry about is her weakness purples, and wait a minute. This is honestly grounds for restarting because we've got the worst possible mini-boss to start it. And I don't even know if Adora can do this because a couple of things. One, without Ball Light, her mold damage is actually really pretty ass cheeks. I can try all I want with the tier 4 Alp buff, but none of that changes the fact that we might be screwed here. I will re-roll for 15% damage. And okay, we can still restart without losing a life. I just realized that we need to buy level 3, so no tier 4 Alp buff just yet. We need a level 3 for the long armor light ability. That's the only way that we can get any damage on blast, but I think it's all for naught. We'll do double Divine Bolt too, but this is all the damage you're going to be able to squeeze through. The short uptime gets us a whopping not even 1 kill. God, that's embarrassing. I genuinely should restart given it's so early, but I think to make things more challenging, screw that, we're already working with a really strong hero. So we should be able to survive unlucky pop-ups like this. So note to self, it would be wise to invest in some CDR so that we have the long armor light more often and don't get caught with our pants down. And now we finally get our first chest, of which I already have an Alchemist in my party, so we ought to just go for Primal Instinct. Just gotta remember to put Adora on close and we're Gucci. Minigames are probably more of Adora's thing than bosses, and with least cash, this should be easy. I'm not sure if I already addressed this, but $9,000 for a legendary goal is just far too high. And way too easy to achieve. And also, in case you're wondering why I bought a Sentry, it's because sub-towers don't get negated by the 1 Monkey Army. 1 Monkey Army makes it so that pretty much every single tower does no damage when on hit. However, it doesn't buy the sub-towers, and so sentries can still get pops as you see. And that's our purple popping, so we don't have to rely on Adora's level 3 all the time, in case you're wondering. I don't know if a mod like this already exists, but it'd be cool to turn, like, Rogue into, say, a mode like, every single tile is a mini race. Because those I find are way more fun. Anyway, our choice of a legendary is pretty much just 1 direct damage buff. 30% isn't amazing from a legendary, but yeah, I'll have to do. I got the 8% CDR I was looking for in Grand Magic Quickening. And then I can immediately upgrade that at the rest tile to 11%, hallelujah. Next chest, just Pierce and range. End stage Merchant, we're gonna pick up 8% attack speed, ability cooldown, and 16% damage. There are a couple artifacts here that I'm going to skip. Namely, Heroic Edge for 15 Pierce and 40% in range here. Even though I have the tokens for it, I'm gonna save it for a future Merchant in case I need those tokens, because I feel like we should be able to handle Blooners without that. And given these stats here, nothing too eye-popping for stage 1, but decent buffs across the board. And on the easy map at that, yeah. It also took me till now to realize that the NG can be useful for overclock. I didn't have the money to afford it earlier, but this is another benefit on top of the sentries being able to hit other balloons, aka purples. Extra attack speed goes a long way. And now the rest of the money will be pumped into after stronger stimmy, just Adora levels. Note that I'm not going to track range bonuses or seek those in this run, just because, as you see, with Long Armor Light, she already has basically full map range, so if you just focus on cooldown reduction, that is basically a decent, like, range buff. Now, one thing I'm not sure about is whether or not Adora still gains XP for Blood Sacrifice. Once again, this mostly does not matter at all due to the fact that Adora can basically beat anything. Or, like, she'll level up really fast from the Bloons anyway. But out of curiosity, I do want to see. Maybe I'll pick a random monkey to just sacrifice and see if it gives any XP. Probably not, right? It did go up, I think. Or was that from the normal Bloons? I guess I'll take a look again after this one here. Take that. Oh, what the hell? I'm sorry, we didn't have a chance to check out the sacrifice because the smite happened, and you see, that just took out half of Blooners' HP. God, that was probably the most satisfying smite I've seen, and I've done runs with that artifact in deep chimps before. Nothing as crazy as that. Sheesh. Now, Essence of Blooners is probably the worst thing to get on Tier 1 because it does not buff, like, our monkey at all. Tier 3 and lower also applies to heroes, and so if Adora's tier, like, level 4 or above, then she will actually lose attack speed. So whenever the next merchant shows up, I gotta get rid of that. Again, we can take a giant percentage hit for now, so I'm not too worried about that. Stage 2 is Blast Populous, so we really need that ability cooldown reduction. Seeing as the right path has a mini-boss that I'd rather not play, I think I'll take the left path this time, so we get a mini-game. The very first campfire is a legendary, so we're gonna do the cooldown reduction upgrade, 8 to 18% now on support. First chest, useless garbage, 10% attack speed with Spirited Adventure. Mid-stage merchant, we become even faster with 33% attack speed, and another 17. And after a legendary encounter, I have 3 really tough and good options to pick from. Raw damage, a village which is my MIB, but then absolute ability for even faster ability cooldown. This is the hardest decision I'm about to make since pineapple or pepperoni on pizza, but I think because it's Blast Populous, let's just cover our weaknesses. Because ultimately, Jungle Drums on that village is also 17% attack speed, so it is a stat bonus too. And we got another least cash, unfortunately, but whatever, I'll take it for legendary. My only issue with Village, though, is the fact that at the end stage boss, I'm no longer going to be able to afford, like, Engineer Overclock and MIB. Not to mention, I think I have artifacts that make the Tier 3 more expensive. The Squadron together, that makes, you know, other upgrades 10% higher, so that MIB is pretty pricey. I think it's worth it, though. Eventually, once you get enough cooldown reduction, we can skip the MIB and they're just, you know, cheaply buy a Jungle Drums. But there's that. But you see your mob damage, because I skipped out on extra damage, it doesn't quite cut it. I also just realized now that buying MIB barely keeps me in the legendary. I didn't mean to cut it that close. And seeing how little purples there are in these rounds, I honestly I don't even think I really needed a MIB. Probably could have gotten away with just using a level 3, but that's still leeway, least cash affords ya. And hey, now we can make up that damage that we skipped down on by getting Grand Magic Precision for 30%. At another merchant, I forgot, I need to dump Essence of Blooners here, and there's a new artifact that dropped this update, Bargaining Chip. Boost reroll is cheaper by 30%, and then the artifact has 2x value when sold at merchants. Why it is 2x, I'm not sure, but that means it's worth 24 tokens now. I can't afford that. Do I still want to take it? Or this might just be an artifact that we window shop because it's far too expensive and there's another merchant coming up. So I guess see ya. It is a shame, but I'll pick up extra SRAM damage and along with this 12% attack speed, 17%. But again, it makes my monkeys even more expensive. So I guess rip MIB and Overclock now, but oh well. And one last merchant, probably none of these because it doesn't give me the buffs that I want. So F that. After all the stat bonuses I got from this stage, here's what we're looking at now. A whole lot of attack speed, 3.5. Not too much added cooldown reduction though, but again, that shouldn't matter with a MIB now. The map being frozen over. Yeah, they're still gonna give me Bloody Puddle's phase for, like, stage 3. I can already smell it. So buying this and this pretty much is all my money. But no overclock, no problem, because we already have insane amounts of attack speed. But I certainly wouldn't shy away from an extra, what is it, 67% attack speed? Also, one thing I did was able to verify between stage 2 is that, yes, Blood Sacrifice does actually still give you XP, which is kind of broken. NGL. Check this out, sacrifice a base super, and all of a sudden, we're much closer to level 8. So I will just do that. Use excess cash to dump into the following. We'll also use Adora's Long Armor Light just for range, because, yeah, gives us a head start in being able to speedrun Blast Populace just a little bit faster. And perhaps it's a good thing I did go for it, because, right, Blast Populace reduces cooldowns, or makes cooldowns, like, stop ticking, especially when he hits max heat, so you can imagine why that would have been bad to rely on, you know, purple popping via the abilities when Blast Populace can very easily disable them, like there. Crying out loud, I can barely get a ball light off. Finally got off now, and that should beam the hell out of it. Alright, hopefully next time they give us something harder than Frozen Over, because that was a pushover. GG's only, stage 2. Stage 3 is not. I repeat, not phase. Vortex is easy because Adora easily has a lot of range to put her far enough away. So this should be another easy one. What I'm looking for at the Recruit is, I don't know. Not that. Didn't get anything I want there, so I'll just do a simple 17 to 26% attack speed. Sparkling Campfire is a no-brainer. Too Many Cooks from 33 to a whopping 80. Definitely one of the greatest legendaries out there. At the Merchant, just an upgrade from 12 to 18% attack speed for 9 tokens. Next chest, just stacking more attack speed with 17%. Another chest, I'll take Quantum Leap for the funnies. Please don't let this be a least cash minigame again. Thank you. I want to see how many pops Adora can farm, and this is the perfect situation for it. I don't think I'm even going to buy any other buffs until I afford a MIB. Then I'm free to send a lot of rounds on my own. For now, let's do up to round 20 maybe? Honestly, we can go harder, seeing how this is going. Oh yeah, oh my god, she's melting. Quantum Leap definitely changes things too. At least it makes her look, I don't know, her attacks look way different, in a good way. She's just like beaming the balloons down, and there's the MIB that I wanted, and so we can now freely send a lot more rounds, right? Adora's literally just, yeah, she's gonna get level 20 in no time. 35 now. Fast forward. Round 40. And there's level 20, without any sacrifices required. Now, we start giving more and more buffs, so missing a Jungle Drums, missing an Overclock. We'll send everything except the bat for the time being. I want to wait to get more attack speed first. There we go. Note I have yet to use Ball Light either, but I'm gonna do that right now. Send up 47. We'll lose attack speed and set her to strong, just so I can see that BAD melt. Wait for it, wait for it. It's gonna spawn, right? Or did I already pop it? Okay, there it is. It took a while to show up, but there it is. And it's actually taking a little bit longer than I thought. Yes, 10 seconds. I'm always considered long. Also, we did hit the pop goal already, so I'm just gonna chill for now. But this is why I wanted to see a race, because I knew Adora would get to level 20 instantly. And you'll be able to see her true power. Now this is what peak performance looks like, folks. As much as I stacked attack speed, I wish I didn't. I had better choices in attack speed, because I don't think attack speed applies to the Ball Light, and that's why it might have looked like it wasn't doing that much damage. So really the best stat bonus for Adora, I think, is damage, because then it affects basically everything on her. So please reward me with some damage. Nope. Nothing but more pierce and range. God damn it, more nothing at the end stage. I will add Money Mulligan, just so I have more chances to reroll for damage or a better stat bonus. Probably the best use for my tokens. And so now our stats heading into stage 3 are really not much higher than stage 2, except, well, more speed. It was like 3.5, now it's 6.5. Everything else is basically the same, though. Map, another easy one, basically. Now, depending on how this finishes, I'll be the first to say that maybe these runs are best played in maybe Chimps mode, where it's endless, and so if the hero doesn't have enough of a challenge, then we can go into even deeper rounds, but then, like, otherwise arbitrarily still have the end at stage 4 if the challenge is deemed difficult enough. And hold up, Adora is kind of lacking the damage right now. There's the first skull, but where I put her, she needs to do more damage. So let us get some attack speed and not range here. I'll take 7%. Adora with Quantum Bleed kind of looks like she's just shooting a railgun. Bro thinks she is Golden Justice. Another long armor light, because I think it does increase base damage. And another sacrifice with the Super Monkey. And now they got Ball Light add to the mix. This should make things, yeah, basically keep things at the entrance. Only issue was really first skull. Otherwise, another, again, sleeper boss. Kind of what I expected or signed up for, knowing that Adora is one of the strongest damage heroes, so not a surprise. There's a smite, by the way. The smite is now not strong enough to one-shot a boss. It only got us basically 1/8 of the HP. SMH my head, Adora. I really expected better of ya. Don't use Mulligan reroll here because it won't give you actual artifacts. Skip this, and that's another pretty quick stage 3. Ooh, and of course we're given the longest map for the final stage, so that means we have a lot to play for. Do I want to play 2 mini-bosses here? Or rather, 2 extra mini-games, with one being a sparkling? I think I know which one. We're already guaranteed 1 mini-boss this path, so left side it is. And it is phase, okay, yep. It's actually a good thing we got a long map then, because now we have a lot of time to build up more things, in case it does end up being bloody potholes. Because I said damage is good, I'll upgrade the only damage artifact that I can. 16 to 20. First chest, I'm gonna use one of my Money Mulligan rerolls. Might as well. Of course, I got garbage, so F it again. Until I get damage, and I think it was worth it. Note to self, get Money Mulligan in more future rogue runs like this. And we'll upgrade that damage artifact at the next res tile. And another campfire. I actually don't want to keep giving more attack speed, so I think more versatile, just upgrade Mighty Mulligan so I have even more chances to get a damage artifact. This minigame is yet another sadly least cash, but it is on erosion, which makes things slightly more interesting. I think the low rounds play into our advantage though, because the only working lane is this lane here. How this map works is normally the lanes go up and up the later the round goes, but it'll never reach that point. Anyway, I'm just going to do the same formula that I've done for every normal tile so far. And that is essentially, if I can't afford a MIB, go for a Sprocket with Count Action. This probably has enough Pierce to get all purples if, you know, Adora's long armor light can't do it. And again, we can't spend on the MIB because otherwise we would go out of the legendary here. But you see that? I dropped down to 39 lives by accident, by the way. Because of Quantum Leap, it just instantly hits purple, which is... I'm glad I picked that artifact because it has come in very handy. If the sentry's still at a very low attack speed, then what you would see is just the purples running on by, because they're not being popped immediately. Alright, more purples. I don't have a long armor light here. I do have it now. Anyway, this should do it. Double legendary this round. All light just to nuke down the ZMG. Bye-bye. For efforts, I am going to reroll here. Perfect. Support legendary for a massive damage increase, and then another one. These are not damage, reroll. Ah, crap, it might be too late to get abundant choices, or is it? Just like Mighty Mulligan, this is better to get at the very start, but there's still a long way to go here, so I'll pick it up and save the other Mighty Mulligan rerolls. At another minigame, it's another release cache, just end me. Just one race out of the 5 minigames we encounter in this run. Unlucky, and don't forget that there's 2 race minigames out of 3. Looks like we got blue ball out of more excitement. Okay, kind of annoying that even after abundant choices, nothing really helps. I know this helps, but I don't really want attack speed. I will waste a reroll. Maybe I already got all the damage artifacts? IDK. Actually, no, I'll take Sticky Situation, but right now I don't have a glue gunner, so I have to find a glue at a rest tile somewhere. Although, wait a minute, there's no rest tile up here. I'm a dumbass. Maybe an artifact then that adds a glue gunner. Whoopsies. Whatever. Take a risk for the high reward. By the way, check this out. Level 3 Adora. And say goodbye to that. God damn, is that nasty. Nothing at this chest. Another reroll. Only this attack speed upgrade. I guess I have to save my last mulligan. Legendary encounter. Primary specialist. Let's go. We haven't gotten CDR since, like, stage 1, I swear. And now for the Dreadblue mini-boss. 43 is the goal. Now, I don't believe purples spawn out for a while, but I won't take the risk and I'll still drop in NG down anyway. But hopefully I don't need to spend 10k on a MIB. First boost, we'll instantly get some damage in. And take a look at Adora now. She hasn't seen a mini-boss since the very first one, Blast Bobbos, where she pathetically got 4. But just like that, she is now at 15. Just damage, damage, and more damage. MIB now. Let's try to save for overclock next, too, while we're here. $20,000, boy. Is that expensive. What's cool about Adora's long armor light now is that she almost looks like she's spewing out fire. But it's not fire. That's just Adora. I would wager it's probably better, because of how slow she's leveling, that we should spend the money instead of overclock, on just sacrifices. But nah. We're already really close to overclock, so let's just get there. There we go. More attack speed. Another ball of light. And here comes the OC. Ladies and gents, we have Dragon's Breath at home. And it is glorious. I'll start sacrificing now that I basically spent all my money on everything that I want. Boom. Bonus level. One more kill to go. And at this point, there is nothing to play for. So I'll just boost her to level 20 after I sacrifice this overclock here. Not quite. Alright, things are starting to get leggy, so forget that. Screw the goal. Or screw the level 20. We got our goal. Now we can end it. One mini-boss showcase is all I really need for this run, I think. And now, attack speed is not necessary, but screw it. Tit for tat. No money mulligan at this next legendary either, because Unspoken Heroes, if I do the math, is 20% damage bonus. I'll take it. Another chest, I might as well use my last money mulligan. This is the very final chest. There was no glue artifact there, right? I don't think so. Damn. I'm not gonna get the X2 here. Actually, hang on. With this artifact, Desperado Bottom Path can glue balloons at XX2, and it adds a 101. I think this might be what I'm looking for, actually. Not an actual glue, but an indirect glue. Dang it, no glue at the merchant either. In fact, nothing to buff it other than ability stacking, but I don't think it's worth it if it lowers my ability cooldown. So F that, we'll just pick up some monkey money and some rogue XP, because I've been bleeding some monkey money recently in boss events. Gladly take the 500. And now, for the map. Okay, this is actually difficult. We've got an incredibly short map here, and if the glue artifact works here, then this, ladies and gents, are our stat bonuses. An insane 30x boss damage, 17x speed. Adora's main attack is legit 400 times stronger than normal. I got what I wanted, and this is going to be a legendary battle for the ages. Do I want to skip out on, honestly, the MIB? Just go for more damage? I feel like that might be the play. Now, there's one issue with the Desperado. It's that 101 doesn't have innate camo, so that means I can only glue it half the time. That's a problem for obvious reasons. Overclock, you see, it pretty much loses me all my money. I will try this first, though. Oh yeah, Adora also only starts at level 8, so this could be spooky. Not to mention, as you see, 200,000 HP. And purple's instantly is not a good start, not a good sign, but I mean, given level 8 just there does that much damage, then I don't know. There's a good chance. I just gotta get the rounds to progress, though, so we gain XP. It might be worth it to sacrifice the overclock now for XP. You know what? Let's do it. Let's do it. We get 4 levels instantly, which I think is worth it, because now I unlock Ball of Light, which would make things go even faster. Also, I'm taking a look, and I don't really see any glue on phase there. Surely it's working, right? Once again, damage artifacts, so Ball of Light works. Given Adora's damage with Ball of Light here, we're gonna pop this in no time. Oh my god. Look at that line of bolts behind her. That's Quantum Leap for you, ladies and gents. Otherwise, it'd look a lot more spread. Overclock is still active, meaning it was a good choice to sacrifice it earlier to get more in. Attack speed, or damage. Here's outbuff now for attack speed. Another Ball of Light. And halfway now. Should I just get rid of Desperado? It doesn't look like Glue's working at all. At all. More damage. Level 3 again. Absolute cinema that we're looking at here, ladies and gents. I'll do quickening just because cooldown reduction's good. 2 more skulls to go. Let's get this bread. Adora oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Those purples were scary. Blue trap? No, 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 no. F that. F that. I've got this again. And we can drop this for sentries and purple popping. Sacrifice Desperado. We didn't hit level 20, but we beat the hardest final boss in the game. And on one of the toughest maps. Adora is so broken that my game is now frozen before we even kill it. Now, this is by far the strongest hero I've seen in this test so far. I mean, I guess Churchill too, but I don't think I buffed Churchill as much in the run. And it was also a 1-tower run. In case you're curious about that, then click on this video over here. Otherwise, once again, there is a giant playlist where I have done so many other heroes before. Definitely check that playlist out if you're looking for more stuff similar to this. And once again, I thank you all for watching.